Hey everybody, welcome to DKFC, where we're talking EPL, English Premier League football. That's on a break this week, but I'm joined by Andy Davies, Jamie Hinks, and Tyrone Atkins, and we're talking, hey, who are the top performers you've seen so far in the Premier League? Lots of great performance, lots of great games coming up. Big break and sort of in the season right now. Andy, who are some of the guys you're looking at here?
My top three, my favourite three in reverse order, are Mesut Ozil. I picked him a lot because I wanted to jinx him, but it didn't work.
As a Tottenham fan,
as a Tottenham fan, I wanted to be. It didn't work. He's just consistently good in a kind of consistently sort of bang average Arsenal side. Mesut Ozil just stands out every week. He's worth a lot of points. Anything good that comes from Arsenal tends to come through him, and he's been, I think, one of the overall most consistent performers of the season.
All right, well, we'll go with that. Let's go to someone else's. Tyrone, he's got Mesut Ozil as his first guy. Who's your second? Who's your first guy then?
Oh, my first guy is a man who probably no one would even remember his name or even know who he was a year ago. I'm going for Christian Fuchs, who is, in my opinion, standout fullback in the Premier League this season for the amazing Leicester side. A side that, hopefully, if they do win it, and I hope they do, a side that we're all going to be able to name.
The whole
famously, absolutely. I already can. I mean, it will be, and yeah, I mean, Fuchs has been a major part of that. As has Danny Simpson on the other side, and that's something I never thought I would ever say. But he's been outstanding too. But Christian Fuchs, absolutely brilliant, and for DraftKings particularly, very high scoring fullback.
Jamie, how about you? First guy, throw it down. Who's the guy?
I've very much gone for players that are very good on DraftKings. I've gone Robbie Brady, very unchampioned by many people just because he plays for Norwich and they are looking like they could go down. Maybe not now after this weekend, but Brady has a lot of crosses, gets forward all the time, had a rare goal this weekend. I mean, season-long players don't tend to pick him and they tend to look at you funny when you say, oh yeah, Robbie Brady's really good. They're like, no, he's not. But on DraftKings, he is very good. I think he'll have a good summer in the Euros as well for Ireland.
Perfect. All right, so top performers going ahead. Again, number 2, Andy Davies. Who have you got as your second guy who's impressed you on DraftKings?
a guy that I've never picked because I don't want to jinx him as a Spurs fan, and that's Harry Kane. His record speaks for itself. He's been, was it eight games without a goal at the start of the season, but he's just been phenomenal since then.
Is the face mask off yet? Has he got the...
The face mask's still on.
I think you should keep it on.
I think he should keep it on. Yeah.
Very Darth Vader-esque. Maybe he can keep it on.
He needs to keep that on. But it's just goals. I think, he proved everybody wrong. Everyone said last season he'd be a one-season wonder. He's not a one-season wonder. He's England's #1 centre-forward and has to start.
And will he get the most goals this season?
Yeah, he'll be top scorer. Absolutely. Vardy's only got 4. This calendar year, so his goals are drying up. Sergio Aguero's in a team that looks uninterested. Everton, hit or miss, depending with Lukaku. Harry Kane's playing for a team that's going for the league, and he's in a rich vein of form, and he doesn't look knackered. He doesn't look tired. I saw him against Bournemouth last week. He was fantastic.
Always good to do running on all cylinders at this point. Jamie, who is your second guy that you've got?
My second guy is Riyad Mahrez. I don't think anyone would argue with that choice. I think he could get player. I think he will probably get player of the season just ahead of Payet. He's got everything. He's had everything this season. If he hadn't been in the team, I don't think they'd have won the league. I think he's the biggest, he's their best player. He's better than Vardy in terms of goals and assists and everything. I think obviously Kante and Drinkwater and all those players do have a role to play, but without Mahrez, I don't think this team scores as many goals as it does in the first half of the season.
Is it 50% of Leicester goals have been involved?
Come through him. Again, at the weekend, it was him who scored the goal.
So say they do win the league. Yeah. All right, moving forward. Is there a real worry that this team's going to get broken up? That they're just going to rip it all apart and they're all going to go somewhere and chase the money?
I think there's even a worry that Ranieri might leave this summer. I've already read, genuinely have already read that he might go. And get
the Italy job.
Well, the Italy job or anywhere else. Like if they pay Leicester enough money. It's tricky. I mean, if it was me, I'd like, in a perfect world, I'd like to think the whole team will stay together. No one will leave, and they'll challenge for the Champions League next season.
I think in previous years that would be a foregone conclusion, and that team would get broken up. But as we've stated recently, no Premier League is going to be without funds next year.
Yeah,
they're all going to have money to compete with each other, and certainly abroad. And so there is a high possibility. I mean, you had people like Vardy who signed an improved contract this year. I would like to think that Ranieri would probably do the same thing. And I like to think he'd be quite grateful, because this time last year he was managing a Greece team that got beaten by the Faroe Islands, and all of a sudden he's looking at winning, you know, in my opinion, the title in the best league in the world. So hopefully not, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'd like to think they'll stay, but I mean, never say never.
Well, you never know. Once the money comes down and once the season's won, you know, agents always play a role, and we all know how agents are. By the way, my agent should call me. Tyrone, who is your second pick that you have?
Well, you mentioned him, the man who I think we all think that Mahrez is just going to pip. It's going to be Dimitri Payet. Dimitri Payet's been the absolute heartbeat of West Ham. He is to West Ham exactly what Mahrez has been to Leicester. Although, you know, West Ham haven't been doing as well as Leicester, West Ham has certainly put in a shift that's been their best since the 1986 team, which featured Frank McElwain and Mark Ward. Do you remember Mark Ward? He's my favourite ex-con Premier League player, and Troy Deeney. Dimitri Payet has been absolutely outstanding, and at 8 million, I think they bought him for in the summer. You know, again, it was Dimitri who, and that's looking like a snip now, and he's a player I hope to see at West Ham next year. It's the thought of him going to Liverpool, where there's rumours about that, is horrifying. But nonetheless, with regards to his performances this season, the absolute bedrock of everything good about West Ham. The goals have come from him and through him, and he's been an absolute must-pick for DraftKings.
Payet, big point scorer, great on DFS. Andy, take us through your third pick. Who's the third guy so far in this season of DFS playing DraftKings, EPL this season? Who's the guy?
What's great about the Premier League is it's a wash with money. So players like Johan Kabay can join Crystal Palace, Leicester can get Riyad Mahrez, West Ham can get Dimitri Payet. Slightly less fashionable European players that wouldn't necessarily be top of the shopping list of the so-called big guns. And another one, Shaqiri can play for Stoke, and that's fantastic. And I think Shaqiri, he's been my favourite player. He's my go-to guy. I pick him every week. I won't anymore because he's injured. But
Still pick him.
I'll still pick him. He's been fantastic for Stoke, and that's what's made the Premier League great this season. Is you've had players like Shaqiri turning up playing for Stoke and making a fist of it as well. Turning up for Stoke on a wet Wednesday night at West Brom. He's no fancy Dan European. This guy can do it home and away, and he has done. He's been really consistent throughout the season.
Consistent the whole season. Also, he's married to Gerard Pique as well, which I think is amazing that the two can have a great relationship.
Yeah. I think, and it's wonderful the way football has finally been able to embrace a same-sex relationship.
And he can have play in a singing career and also do that, and I think it's amazing and great to have a great relationship like that.
I got his first album sung entirely in Spanish, and
Really?
it's decent. It's decent. It's decent.
Shaqiri, he's amazing. He can play, he can sing, he can do everything, and he looks great in a thong.
And his hips don't lie.
His hips don't lie.
Hips don't
His
lie.
hips don't
Maybe the
lie.
mouth a little bit. I don't know. Tyrone, let's go to your third pick here.
Yeah, I'll go for the best player that Chelsea could have had in the last 3 years. If we'd have just shown a little bit of patience and played him, that'd have been good. But Romelu Lukaku, I think, has been great. As I said last week, and I stand by it, he does score in bunches. And so, you know, he'll score a couple against, say, Chelsea in the Cup, and then perform terribly against Arsenal in the league at home the following week. But nonetheless, he's still a very young man. A very young man. He's, what, 22, 23? And he's already around the 100.
22 for like 3
It feels
years.
like that because
every year.
we bought him at 17, 18 for quite a lot of money. And then we loaned him out for a good while, and the last time he played for us was the European Super Cup, where he missed a very, very important penalty, and Bayern Munich ended up winning it. And then that was it. Jose shot him off to Everton for a cool 30 million, but he's looking a lot more than that now. And I think in a better team, because Everton do flatter to deceive, I think we can all agree, I think he can be an absolute stud for years to come. So he's been pretty excellent. Hopefully he'll stay at Everton. Hopefully he doesn't move abroad, as the rumours are suggesting lately. But yeah, I'm a fan of him. He's a wonderful
Did you just,
Belgium hound.
you heard that, didn't you? Did you just say an absolute stud for years to come?
Yeah, in a horse.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, no, I don't mean like he's going to be breeding with everyone and no.
He's going to shag his way around the
Well, that's what a stud horse does anyway. All All right, I hadn't thought that one through, DraftKings. I'll be honest with you, but I don't think calling a prime athlete a stud is necessarily a bad thing. He is. He's all 6'3" of real sinew and muscle, the man, and he's a goal machine, and he's great. Yes, he's a stud. I stand by.
Big, strong man, full of sinew and muscle. Tyrone stud. Jamie, let's go on to your third pick. Who is your guy you've got?
I've gone for another player that Chelsea slung onto the scrap heap, Kevin De Bruyne. I think everyone's forgotten how good Kevin De Bruyne is. He's
outstanding.
When's he coming back? Is he going to be?
He could be back in the next couple of weeks, which makes you think, why did they get rid of Pellegrini and announce it? And because if they've had him coming back, in my opinion, I think they'd win the league because they'd have played well enough up until now. If they'd had him all season, they'd have won the league, I think, regardless of all this stuff with Pellegrini. He's got everything, I think, like in terms of attacking. He assists, he gets goals. I mean, yes, he did cost, 60 million, was it?
55.
Yeah, but Chelsea sold him for like 11.
Oh.
No, is that?
Or was it someone else? Oh, 16, there you go.
Still a good price.
Well, if Mangala's worth 42 million, then
He's got to be worth
Well,
100.
David Luiz was worth 40 million, apparently, but you're right. He's a Rolls Royce of a player.
Yeah, I mean, he was doing so well on DraftKings up until he got injured. He was guaranteed points every week. He was expensive, but no one else has picked up the can for City. Even with David Silva and the rest, none of them have performed as well as he has this season.
Great picks all around from our panel, all the guys that have done really well this season on DraftKings. And hopefully you've had a great season as well exploring DraftKings and trying it. We're going to be back with more great lineups in the next coming weeks. You can watch this channel for more videos and put together your own lineup. You could win big.